Today we're going to talk about Death or Glory from Image. Death or Glory from Image is a book by Remander, art by Begnal. This is the Prestige edition, which means it's bigger than a deluxe edition. It's essentially library edition size. If you're familiar with Dark Horse library books, it's that size. Have a look at my video for Lady Killer and you'll see it's of a same size to that. I'll put an example up on the screen as well to show you this compared to a deluxe and a normal trade as well. But look, let's have a look at this book and talk more about this fantastic story. Okay, so we've got the Death or Glory Prestige edition by Remander and Begnal. This is an Image book. It is larger than the normal deluxe edition. It's essentially library format, and I'd have shown you a picture earlier in the video to show the difference between that. Obviously no dust cover with this. It is a sewn binding and it's a great feeling book. Let's just get that out of the way to start with. It feels solid, it feels like a high quality book, and your pages feel nice and thick as well, which for £25 is great. You know, it really shows up the Marvel omnibuses that want to charge £40 or £50 for a very thin omnibus of say 350 to 400 pages, which is around the length of this. I think this is 360 odd pages. That's not an appropriate price. This is the appropriate price for a book that size. Anyway, it starts off with Yuma, Arizona. You just got a couple of guys in a burger joint just bullshitting. Guy walks in, wants to order 100 odd burgers. They think he's taking the piss. Then he gets out this gun and liquid nitrogens them and freezes them. He's a bad guy, let's just say. The reasons behind him using liquid nitrogen I'll explain later in the story, but they've obviously taken inspiration from No Country for Old Men, with the guy who's got the cattle killing device that with the canister he lugs around. Then we meet Glory. She's working in her garage. She's building this sick looking car. You get a bit of voiceover explaining what's going on. In short, she lives out in the desert. She lives free, as she would put it. Her dad, Red, has got organ failure and needs I think it's a liver. So she's going to go and get that liver for him. She's going to do a bad thing. She's got nerves beforehand, spewing up there. And whilst it's against Red's wishes, he ain't got much choice, as he said there, but it's my choice. So she goes off in her car in a cool racing outfit and leaves some sort of last instructions with the guys that are at the bar, the other truckers, her family from the road, and then sets off to intercept a payoff that she's aware of because her former husband is a bad guy and a crook. So her car's reinforced, it's all sort of battle ready, and she tries to get the money. It goes wrong. You'll have to read the book to find out how and why. She has a run-in with the liquid nitrogen guy, and she ends up thinking, right then, do you know what, I'm just going to steal the trailer full of drugs that they were going to do the payoff for, and I'll just sell the drugs instead. Either way, I'm going to get an organ for Red. But then she finds out it's human trafficking. So she's stuck with all these people, and that's just good art. Look at the body posture there. She just looks totally surprised and dejected, and you can't even see her face. She sorts all the people out, gets them out of the way, and then obviously the people who she took the humans off that were being trafficked aren't very happy. And you see this world, you've got the one blind, one's mute, these two weird sisters. You can see that there are people being cleaned off and they're being cut apart for body parts. And you're slowly building this group of characters. Now, you might think I'm revealing a lot in the story, and that's because it's a really heavily front-loaded story. What it does is it gives you all the story, all the exposition up front, in a fun way. Don't get me wrong, it's not like it drags on or anything, but it gives you all that exposition, and then it leaves it open then for a big action sequence that spans essentially 3 or 4 issues at the back end. So she gets deeper into this. She teams up with one of the people that she rescued from the truck. they go to the operation where they're harvesting these human organs, because they found out that it's actually better to harvest human organs than it is to sell drugs. And they make all the wrong moves, let's say, but they do end up stealing a liver for Red. And so what happens is Glory escapes with the liver, and she's going to make it to Mexico in order to get this liver into Red. And she calls on her trucker family to help her do that. And here we are, the convoys come in. And that's the end of the first trade. Now, in the second one, you get introduced to this character, Dickless Frankenstein, which is just a wonderful character. And I can turn the page because there isn't anything that I can't show, because he hasn't got anything to show. And I just thought, wow, that's good. But he wants the dick of the guy that she's teamed up with to be transplanted onto him, because apparently he's got the biggest dick in, where is it, Brazil, I think, or somewhere, so in his town, and he wants it. And that's his motivation for it. It's just ridiculous. And you have a chase. What happens is this chase goes on through the borderline up to Mexico and beyond. There are some other characters you get introduced to, but we're not going to worry about that for this this review. And here you go. You've got the bad guys kit. Not quite Fury Road level, but this is a souped up mega crane. You've got a portable operating theatre on wheels, and then you've got all these other cars that are all like turbocharged. And you just have this fantastic road race. They are rushing for the border. They're all trying to stay alive. People die. There's helicopters. There's people swinging on cranes. There's people being operated on while the cars are moving. They're trying to take the organs off of people during the chase. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous, but it is fantastic fun to read. The art is great. I'm going to skip over some pages because you don't want to see what happens there. It's emotional as well. It's not just all action. There are sad and happy beats in it too, which keep you interested, so you don't just get bored of looking at pictures. Things are happening all the time. They're developing the characters and the story. But this goes on for a few issues, and it comes to a conclusion which, that's not pleasant, is it? Which I'm going to skip over. There we go. And you end up with an ending that is satisfying. It wraps up the story, and there's no need for any further books. But if they wanted to do another book, they could, and it wouldn't feel forced. And that's just a sign of expert writing. You get these lovely covers here in the back, and that's a nice one. That's the main cover, I think. That's good as well. I feel like I should get that made into a t-shirt or something. Move through a few more of those. Get some sketches. You get some process pictures, a bit of script writing stuff. Usual kind of extras. If you've seen a deluxe edition book before, then you get that. Then you just get a little bit of a biography on the back. But this is a book that if you want something fun, you want something energetic, and to be honest, you want something that you can just see being made into a movie, I would just put this on Robert Rodriguez's desk and go, there's his storyboard, mate. Go make that movie. Because you need somebody who can handle the ridiculous, the over the top. And you know he likes sort of, obviously, Mexican characters and that. And I just feel like this is just something that should be plonked on his desk along with Pound for Pound from TKO. You can just see him making this movie and it being fantastic. I don't know if it's been optioned by anyone, but I would love to watch it. Okay, so that was the book. I really enjoyed it. It was a sort of heart-pounding action ride. You can see it being made by someone. As I said when I was going through the book, it's the kind of thing you can see someone like Robert Rodriguez making. It's just a really good story, really action-packed, fun, silly where it needs to be silly. And whilst it has a definite conclusion, there are open ends if they wanted to make more stories in this world. Let me know what you think about it. Have you read it? Have you been interested in getting it? Did you even know that the Prestige edition was the size it was? I didn't till it turned up, and I thought, that's a big box. And then opened it up and thought, oh, okay, fair enough. But let me know. But this is certainly a book you should check out if you like
sort of independent comics and you want a different story that concludes fully and is just a good, fun bit of action.